Talk about the Champions League. Let's start with Liverpool. Booed at the weekend after being held by Burnley. That's more like it, Clinton.
Yeah, it was a fantastic performance. I think having Mo Salah back gives them a lift. Even though he didn't score today, I thought he had a good game. He was involved in a lot of the play, looked to threat. He'd be disappointed he didn't score. He had a good opportunity where Gakpo played him in. But yeah, they scored a brilliant free kick through Szoboszlai with the wall jumps, and he's clever. He jumps and plays it under the wall. And I thought it was an all brilliant team performance. There wasn't one player who didn't have a good game. And you have to give special mention to the two new signings, Frimpong and Kerkez. They've been criticised, but I thought they defended well, were good going forward. In particular, Frimpong, who made the second goal through an own goal. So yeah, I thought it was a fantastic performance from Liverpool. And the biggest thing you take out of that, they were clinical, Jules, and they kept a clean sheet. So both done well at both ends. You do well at both ends, you'll win football matches.
And how important for them to get through to the last 16 without the need of the lottery of the playoffs, because they've got Qarabag at home in the final game. Now, you'd expect them to win that one, which would surely see them through to the last 16. How important is that for them? And I guess not to have those 2 extra games in the fixture list.
Well, that's what it is. We've got a busy fixture list, so not to have them 2 extra games will be brilliant for them. And you know what it's like. European nights at Anfield is a hard place to go, so it's going to be difficult for Qarabag, and you expect Liverpool to get through. So tonight was an important one. Going to Olympic Marseille, everyone thought it would be different. Could be a kind of banana skin. It's a difficult place to go. The atmosphere is hostile. As soon as Liverpool took the lead, it just went quiet, and they were outstanding. Professional performance, and Arne Slot would be happy with that performance. Really happy with that performance.
And the performance by a number of their new signings as well. There's been question marks over how a lot of them have settled in, but all came to the fore tonight.
Yeah, they did. As I just mentioned, Frimpong and Kerkez, but Wirtz in particular, he looks like he's stepping up. He's got an understanding with Ekitike. You could never question Ekitike. I think he's been their best signing. He's been outstanding, but I think they have a good combination. They're always looking for each other. So yeah, really positive performance moving forward. And yeah, hopefully we're talking about Liverpool climbing up the table and getting positive results, but this was an outstanding result. They went to a hard place, and they were easily the better team and thoroughly deserved the victory. So credit, and they move on to the weekend.
Yeah. Mo Salah back in the team, and Liverpool 3-0 winners, and looking good for the last 16 of the Champions League. Chelsea in with a good chance as well after their win tonight against Paphos, only by a goal to nil. Steve, were they better than the scoreline suggested?
They was. I think it's one of them. There'd be Chelsea fans going away from Stamford Bridge tonight a little bit, not disheartened, but a little bit jittery just by going, I don't know what to make of that tonight, because they've won 1-0 against a team from Paphos, really, that before the game people were thinking that's probably going to be 3 or 4, pretty easy. They had to work hard tonight, and what I really liked and respected about their performance was they moved the ball sharp. They moved the ball from side to side. They didn't get disheartened. There weren't hands going up in the air or players blaming each other when a pass didn't come off. And it looked like a team that was buying into whatever Liam Rosenior was saying in the training pitch. Because
Liverpool fans, stop for a second and really think about what the last few weeks have revealed about this club, because the story unfolding around Liverpool's defensive search is bigger than one player, one rumor, or one failed deal. After missing out on Marc Guéhi, after watching Manchester City move decisively while Liverpool hesitated, the club has been forced to reset, reassess, and refocus its priorities in the transfer market. And right now, one name keeps resurfacing across reliable European outlets, across Bundesliga coverage, and across Premier League transfer discussions, and that name is Nico Schlotterbeck. This is not noise, this is not social media speculation, and this is not coming from one isolated source. This is a pattern, and patterns matter when you are trying to understand how Liverpool are planning the next phase of their rebuild under Arne Slot. Reports circulating across Team Talk, Marca, and multiple German outlets suggest that Liverpool are closely monitoring Schlotterbeck's situation at Borussia Dortmund. The timing is critical. His contract runs until 2027, but the absence of clear renewal progress has created a window of opportunity that clubs like Liverpool simply cannot ignore. Once a player enters the final phase of a contract cycle, leverage shifts, valuation changes, and the conversation becomes less about whether a deal is possible and more about when the right moment arrives. For Liverpool, that moment may come sooner than many expected, especially after the disappointment of the Guéhi situation forced the club to reframe its defensive priorities almost overnight. What makes this particularly interesting is that this is not the first time Arne Slot has admired Schlotterbeck's profile. Long before Liverpool's recent defensive struggles, the German centre-back was already being discussed internally as a modern defender capable of operating in a high line, progressing the ball under pressure, and reading the game with intelligence rather than relying purely on physical recovery. These are not minor traits. These are foundational requirements for how Slot wants his Liverpool side to function. High defensive positioning, compact spacing between lines, aggressive pressing triggers, and clean build-up from the back all demand center-backs who are comfortable with risk and responsibility. Schlotterbeck fits that description almost perfectly. He is not a defender who panics when pressed. He does not simply clear his lines and reset. He actively looks to break opposition structure with vertical passes, carries into midfield, and intelligent positioning that cuts out danger before it fully develops. In the Bundesliga, where transitions are fast and space is constantly exploited, his ability to anticipate rather than react has been one of his most valuable attributes. That is precisely the kind of defender Liverpool have relied on during their most successful periods, and it is no coincidence that Virgil van Dijk remains the reference point when discussing defensive leadership and composure at Anfield.
For Jeremy Frimpong right now, in case anything happens at that right back. So Liverpool does have only 2 centre backs. However, I still believe Liverpool most likely, will not do this deal, in the January transfer. We are going to talk about the main reason why Liverpool did not challenge Manchester City for McGay. It has been confirmed right now, and this is I think clearly this is the reason. Now, before I proceed, the drill. I do most of the talking. You share your thoughts in the comment section, and also hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is a way to support the channel for free without paying any dime. You pay $0 to support the channel. Now, so they do. You and I knows that right now Liverpool is not really giving us enough joy. So this your like and subscription, turn on your bell notification is what will most likely give me that fuel to come every day, drop news relating to Liverpool, potential targets and players that Liverpool have been linked to, and every pieces surrounding Liverpool Football Club. Now moving on, I think we are going to move with this McGay issue right now, because I think everybody right now believe that Liverpool reluctantly don't want to challenge Manchester City for McGay. Now Fabrizio Romano have made it clear the full reason why Liverpool did not challenge for McGay. Now this is what he reported. He said, breaking, McGay signed his contract until June 2031, over 300k per week, 300k pounds per week. He further continued, agreement sealed with Manchester City on 5 year and a half deal, 300k per week salary plus add-ons for the centre back. Manchester City are set to officially announce McGay soon. Personally, this is not to talk down on Manchester City, or anything of sort.
Physically, Schlotterbeck offers presence without sacrificing mobility. He's strong in aerial duels, confident in shoulder-to-shoulder situations, and capable of covering wide spaces when the fullbacks push forward. This matters because Liverpool's system demands defenders who can defend large areas behind them, not players who need constant protection from a low block. Slot's football is proactive, not reactive, and every defender must be comfortable living on the edge of space. That is where Schlotterbeck's Bundesliga experience becomes especially relevant. Another factor working in Liverpool's favor is the shifting landscape around other elite defensive targets. Real Madrid, long linked with Schlotterbeck, appear to have cooled their interest as they reassess their own defensive succession planning. Barcelona remain financially constrained, while Bayern Munich are focused internally on contract renewals and squad balance. That leaves an opening, and Liverpool, despite recent frustrations, remain one of the most attractive long-term projects in European football when viewed through the lens of squad age, tactical direction, and financial sustainability. This is where perspective becomes important for Liverpool supporters. Yes, missing out on Mark Guehi was a blow. Yes, there was frustration with the club's perceived naivety in expecting circumstances to remain static while rivals moved aggressively. But setbacks often clarify strategy. Liverpool's recruitment model has never been about panic buys or reactionary spending. It has been about identifying profiles that fit the system, the culture, and the long-term vision. Schlotterbeck feels far closer to that identity than a short-term solution ever could.
The one thing that stands out to me about him is Schlotterbeck's ability on the ball is almost Trent Alexander-Arnold-esque. He will look to break lines, he will look to progress the ball, and he will look for those pockets of space, and he will look to find his teammates in advantageous forward areas. He is a very forward-thinking defender on the ball, and the way the modern game is working right now, you need that as a centre-back.
There is also the broader squad context to consider. Liverpool's defensive depth has been tested repeatedly by injuries, fixture congestion, and tactical adjustments under a new manager. Relying on a small group of senior defenders across multiple competitions is not sustainable, especially when the margin for error in the Premier League is shrinking every season. Adding a defender who is entering his prime years rather than approaching decline aligns with Liverpool's long-standing philosophy of squad evolution rather than overhaul. It is important to be clear about one thing. This is still a monitoring phase. There is no confirmed bid, no agreement in place, and no guarantee that Borussia Dortmund will sanction a sale without resistance. But monitoring is the stage before movement, and the fact that Liverpool have pivoted quickly toward Schlotterbeck after the Guéhi situation tells us a lot about how the club views its own needs. They are not looking for a stopgap, they are looking for a pillar. The name Alessandro Bastoni has also been mentioned in similar conversations, but that deal represents a far more complex and expensive operation involving multiple elite clubs. Schlotterbeck, by contrast, sits in a more realistic zone of opportunity. Not cheap, not easy, but attainable if Liverpool decide the timing is right. And timing, as we have seen repeatedly in modern football, is everything. For Liverpool fans, the takeaway should not be frustration, it should be understanding. This club is recalibrating after a missed opportunity, but it is doing so with intent, clarity, and patience. The defensive rebuild is not about headlines, it is about sustainability, tactical coherence, and giving Arne Slot the tools he needs to implement his ideas fully. Schlotterbeck represents that direction. He represents continuity rather than compromise. So now the question shifts to you. Do you believe Nico Schlotterbeck is the right defensive profile for Liverpool's future, or should the club push even harder for an elite, marquee name, regardless of complexity? Is patience in the market the right move, or does the squad need immediate reinforcement to protect ambitions this season and beyond? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is a conversation every Liverpool supporter should be part of. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Redview Update, and stay connected as this story continues to develop.